we at LinkedIn want to help you engage what you need to succeed. I'll offer 8 LinkedIn tips for nonprofits. My name's Brian Breckenridge. I'm a nonprofit success enabler here at LinkedIn, and it's my personal belief that belief and energy together make all of us unstoppable, both as individual professionals, as people, and as organizations. So if we bring the right soul to our work, and we bring the right plan, and the right insights on how we logistically can make something happen, we really do become unstoppable. And that's what we're going to spend time on today with these 8 tips. So the broader vision and mission of LinkedIn as an organization is to connect the world's professionals to make them more productive and successful. The LinkedIn Nonprofit Solutions mission fits part and parcel with that broader mission and vision. Our driving principle in LinkedIn Nonprofit Solutions is to enable you to engage what you need to succeed. Every year, millions of board positions and staff positions represented by these massive numbers on the slide are open and need to be filled in the nonprofit sector in the US alone, not to mention the broader NGO sector globally, makes this number much larger. And I'm proud and happy to say today that over 3,000 nonprofit professionals are joining LinkedIn on a daily basis, and that now over 3 million nonprofit professionals have LinkedIn membership. We see a dramatic acceleration in the growth of LinkedIn generally, and that goes along with the nonprofit sector as well. So nonprofits that are currently investing in a LinkedIn strategy, both a free strategy or a paid strategy, those ranks are starting to swell dramatically. And more organizations are now trying to band together the appropriate strategy, resources, and in some cases budget to meet the challenges that they have to become more effective organizations at meeting their mission. Currently, nonprofit HR statistics suggest that 84% of organizations consider HR vital to meeting the mission of the nonprofit organization, yet only 52% of organizations surveyed, and this goes across 450 nonprofits surveyed by Nonprofit HR Solutions, actually staff dedicated HR resources, especially in the area of talent acquisition, and yet only 25% of organizations have dedicated recruiting or capacity building budgets in those HR organizations. So LinkedIn responded to that and has been for years in that we provide a large host of unpaid or free tools and services that organizations can use to address those talent acquisition needs. And we frankly have brought to market now for nonprofits as well significant discounts and support on the paid tools. So without further ado, let's get to those free and paid or discounted tools that can be employed to do 3 really important things. Establish the presence of your staff and mission in the eyes of the world's professionals, spread the word about your important mission and your important work, and grow your organization, both at a support level and at a capacity or an internal staff, volunteer, or board level. So again, let's step into 8 important tips that'll help you take advantage of the LinkedIn platform to meet your mission. First and foremost, establish a strong nucleus. And the nucleus of LinkedIn is our free membership profiles. Having solid profiles and encouraging your staff to have solid and complete profiles will absolutely benefit the organization more than almost anything else. The profile is easy to edit under Edit Profile. Fill it in. Have it set itself apart. Have a good picture of yourself. Really do represent the full picture of your professional brand and your profile. And last but not least, absolutely go into Edit Profile sections, add sections, and add the volunteer experiences and causes section, because you starting to present the volunteering and the causes that you support certainly benefits your professional brand and the organizations that you serve. So let's start with fantastic and establish individual presence. Number 2 tip, establish organizational presence. It's very simple. If you go into your company page, what we call company page on LinkedIn, and there's over 100,000 of these, and you click on Admin Tools, you can then start to populate some sections that you may not know exist on LinkedIn, one of which is called Products and Services. In the example on this slide, you see where the Nature Conservancy is starting to promote the services that they provide and also share. So in this particular use case, they're sharing a note to their 4,988 followers and asking them to actually populate the Nature Conservancy as an organization that people or a cause support or that they've done volunteering. So you can see where the Nature Conservancy now is starting to take full advantage of the free real estate provided and establish a strong organizational presence on LinkedIn. Why would we do this? Because there will be multiple billions of searches that happen on LinkedIn this year. And those searches, in lots of cases, are being done by potential volunteers, potential supporters, or potential partners of your organization. Taproot Foundation does a great job establishing their organizational presence. They clicked on admin tools, they added their services, which in their case would be pro bono volunteering opportunities or pro bono consulting opportunities. And so they decided to create a promotional banner with that big yellow Make It Matter banner on the services real estate that they have as part of their company page on LinkedIn. And according to them, they have a very steady stream of traffic and professionals that sign up for their programs through this window. So tip number 3, spread the word via your professional network. It seems simple, but at your fingertips, you have dozens, hundreds, or thousands of professional connections. Be mindful of those connections. Maybe create an in-map. It's something we brought to market a long time ago, but not that many people have built that out. I find when I speak nationally, typically only 5 or 6% of a big room will raise their hand that know what a, quote, in-map is. Go out to a search engine, put in their LinkedIn in-map, and get a visual representation of your network. This blob is actually my professional LinkedIn network. You can see the major places that I've contributed my time in my career. And if I'm mindful about this, I know I can spread the word about my work and the needs that I have through my network. And so just to be mindful about the way you're connecting, I think, is an important third tip. And it's important also to instill this perspective in your staff, because your staff, your board members, your partners, these are your ambassadors. And so encourage these folks to spread the word in an appropriate manner through their networks, and we really start to put a really compelling engine for spreading the word in place. Ellie's Place does a great job of asking their board member. There are only 9 staff, but they ask their well-connected professional board members to list Ellie's Place as their primary employer or as an additional employer in their current career. And what that really does then is bring Ellie's Place, a small nonprofit, into a lot closer proximity to these really exciting networks that the board of directors have on LinkedIn. And so certainly suggest that as a practice. Number 5 of 8, spread the word using groups. Most of us have joined a group or 2 on LinkedIn. I think the service is getting better and better at suggesting groups that would fit your interests. I know I am a member of 40 or 50 of these. I've maxed it out, frankly. But some great examples of groups that I feel you could create pretty quickly would be that of Volunteer Match. They have a great group. Thousands of folks have joined it. They actively curate the discussions happening there and have created a very vibrant group there that they use to spread the word and to engage their communities of interest. The Chronicle of Philanthropy has a big group, and Peter Penapento has done a lot of great work there. And N10, Holly Ross's organization, they have a great, vibrant group that they use to plan their annual conference and really get a pulse on what their community is interested in and talking about by way of LinkedIn groups. I'd be remiss if I didn't suggest a new group that we'd love for every member of the nonprofit sector and otherwise to join, and it's called Nonprofits in Success. And it's a group that I established a couple of weeks ago to bring your peers and the experts in the field all together in a group to talk about LinkedIn and how it can be used for more success in the nonprofit sector. Number 6, spread the word to followers. On the right side of this slide, you see that Red Cross, UNICEF, YMCA have massive bases of followers, 13, 14, 15,000 followers. Most nonprofit organizations have dozens, hundreds, or thousands of followers and don't even know it yet. And now we're suggesting to nonprofits that they cross-promote following LinkedIn, much like they're promoting folks to like their organization on Facebook or follow their organization in their Twitter handles. So certainly a follower strategy, including LinkedIn, because of the professional context and the power wielded by the audience on LinkedIn, is something we suggest. And also, tip number 7 here is use free APIs and plugins. The site called developer.linkedin.com, spend some time there. You'll realize that putting share buttons on your content, your blogs, and other things that you're sharing externally is a smart way to tie people back into your messaging and tie, frankly, a lot more community to your content. Another example here would be a mechanism that lets people log in to your authentication systems with LinkedIn information, making it easier on people that are authenticating or applying to things on your website. So just another great example of some free plugins here that we highly recommend you investigate. And last but not least, an area that more and more nonprofits are starting to build a strategy and create some budget for is this social recruiting initiative that's underway. Organizations are growing their capacity, meaning their board members, their staff, their volunteer base, with the tools provided by LinkedIn in this area. And so career pages, job networks, or what we call job slots, LinkedIn Recruiter, allowing organizations to source talented individuals to join their staff, are all certainly in play. I wanted to spend just a moment on these and really hone in on this grow your organization section of tips just for a moment. You know, it's like anything else with LinkedIn, there's always going to be a way that you can approach LinkedIn on a no cost or a free basis. And so to do recruiting or sourcing on LinkedIn at no cost, really all you need is the advanced search box in the top right-hand corner of any LinkedIn screen. And frankly, also, if you click on more, you can find our skills and expertise section, or what we call the skills functionality on LinkedIn, which really does help you go out there and find the people with skills or expertise in your chosen area of work or in your geographic area. And frankly, you can also then start to see your proximity to those experts based on your position in the LinkedIn community or the graph. So again, I included the end map of a network there because both of these things are built very much into the fabric of the professional social network that is LinkedIn. Career pages are things that nonprofits are starting to invest in on a discounted basis to present what their employer story is like. You know, the war for talent is not just a war for talent that happens in the for-profit or corporate sector. It's very much in play in the nonprofit sector. Even though word of mouth is still the primary vehicle with which nonprofits are recruiting, make no mistake, the nonprofit organizations that are investing in a career page, much like the career page they have on their website, just over on LinkedIn, are seeing dramatic rises in traffic and interest in the positions that they have open. And frankly, they're seeing an interest from passive candidates that aren't actively job seeking, but get interested because of the career presence that's presented on LinkedIn and in social media in general. So career pages are driving dramatic growth. The jobs network, or posting jobs on the LinkedIn network, as many nonprofits are starting to do on a discounted basis, allows for you not only to post the openings that you have to grow your staff or board positions or full-time or regular volunteers, but it's also helping organizations have the talent find them. In other words, LinkedIn is really good about matching. The example on the screen here is a member of board of directors for Goldie's Place in Chicago was posted out on LinkedIn in urban Chicago. And the interest, because of the matching technology that presented this endeavor of being on the board of a nonprofit in front of the right professional at the right time, the interest in it was so overwhelming that they had to pull the listing after the first couple of days of having this position listed. So again, Goldie's Place, adding board members by posting that into our jobs network. There's definitely a lot of practices to pick up there. A nonprofit organization recently posted 5 positions out on LinkedIn, and within the first couple of weeks had thousands of views and many hundreds of applies on 5 positions that were represented positions available in San Francisco, India, around the world. So very compelling uptick. And then social recruiting or growing your organization is also being pursued by nonprofits with the use of LinkedIn Recruiter. To be able to zero in on talent in the for-profit or nonprofit sector using LinkedIn recruiting tools is helping nonprofit organizations recruit talent for their staff in the same manner that the most successful for-profit corporations and frankly the largest enterprise nonprofits are. So really starting to democratize this ability to do proactive sourcing and frankly be proactive in general in the talent acquisition parts of the nonprofit sector. So zero in on that talent, much like Bay Area Community Resources, another use case involving seeking board candidates. I personally have this use case. I was able to find 19 really appropriate candidates for a board opening recently using LinkedIn Recruiter. Frankly, I sent an in-mail message to those 19 individuals that I had really zeroed in on, which represented a CPA background and a certain geographic distance to the financial district in San Francisco, and frankly, board history. Zeroed dozens down to 19, sent an email to those folks, and had 8 people respond within 24 hours with interest in that board position. So I personally got to the needles in the haystack very quickly and communicated in just a few minutes' work. using LinkedIn Recruiter. As you're considering growing your staff as well and using LinkedIn in very effective manner, certainly there are recruiting media or mass targeting and candidate reaching mechanisms or diversity hiring mechanisms that we can also put in play for your organization, and we're seeing that. So organizations that are conscious of growing their organization and in fact are investing in some of these discounted offerings that we're bringing to market in the nonprofit world, they're partnering up pretty quickly with dedicated nonprofit relationship managers. They certainly have full access to our enterprise services team, and they're participating in education and events that we host. We had several dozen nonprofits join us in Las Vegas in the fall at a big event, a big training and learning event that we have, a customer event called Talent Connect. And nonprofits left that couple of day event in Vegas well educated and really confident that they could really use LinkedIn to grow their organizations. And so again, my big ask here is join the group. It's called Nonprofits in Success. It's going to be a very, very vibrant community. You can learn from your peers and the experts. Also, keep learning. Learn from top industry sources and veterans. Look at the content out there on venturenear.com. Look at the Social Bright content on LinkedIn. Look at TechSoup or Community Organizer 2.0. These are just 4 of a large host of providers of learning and providers of content to the nonprofit world that are becoming big advocates and evangelists for LinkedIn. And it's my humble opinion that that's for good reason. So go out to these industry sources. And if you have any questions at all, certainly find me on LinkedIn. Again, Brian Breckenridge, Brian spelled with a Y. Send me an email directly, bbreckenridge@linkedin.com, or follow me on Twitter at @bgbreck.